Univision commentator Rodner Figueroa fired for making insensitive, and some would say racist, remarks about the First Lady. So here's the somewhat complex situation for Rodner Figueroa. He was commenting on a male, some sort of performance artist who makes himself up to look like everyone from Jennifer Lawrence to the Kardashians, and apparently is very good at makeup. He'd made himself up to look like the First Lady. Rodner commented that that looks like somebody from the Planet of the Apes movies. Now, he contends that he was just talking about the particular makeup artist, but it was construed as saying the First Lady looks like she's an ape. And the problem with that statement is that the caricaturizing and the reducing of blacks in this country and saying they're like apes is really just a pretense to, that's why you don't have to treat them like humans. That's why you can string them up from trees. That's why you can lynch them, beat them, treat them like literally animals. So it simply isn't something that can be joked about in the same way of calling Donald Trump a cracker or Sarah Palin poor white trailer trash. It's just not the same, because nobody like Donald Trump has been hung from a tree just because of his color and his ethnicity. That's just a fact. So Univision, I think, did the only thing they could do in this situation. Rather than try to parse this and explain it and rationalize it and defend their commentator, they just got rid of him. Now, some of you may say, well, what about his First Amendment rights? The First Amendment has nothing to do with this. If the government called Univision and said, you must fire this commentator or we are revoking your broadcast license, then that would be a First Amendment issue. But that's not what happened. Univision decided on its own that they don't want to have to defend something that seems like overt racism. Now, the reason this still resonates and why it's just not funny to joke about it is, while slavery was a while back, the scars from that haven't healed. But things like what happened in Ferguson, Missouri, strike many Americans as a direct descendant of that sort of overt racism. This idea that just because somebody is black, they are essentially an animal, and you can treat them as such. So the wounds are still open, they're still festering. And that's why it's going to be a long time before any public figure can make jokes or analogies to blacks being like apes in broadcast or in the public.